Imagine a prince born into unimaginable luxury, shielded from the pains of the world, only to abandon it all in search of ultimate truth. What if that one decision sparked a philosophy that has guided billions through the ages? Welcome to our journey into the life of the Buddha, Siddhartha Gautama, the awakened one whose story blends history, legend, and timeless wisdom. If you have ever wondered how one man's quest for inner peace reshaped human history, stay tuned. This is not just a tale of the past, it is a blueprint for understanding suffering and finding freedom. Let us dive in. Siddhartha Gautama was born around the 6th century BCE in Lumbini, a small village in what is now southern Nepal, near the border with India. His birth is shrouded in both historical fact and beautiful legends that have been passed down through centuries. According to ancient texts, his mother, Queen Maya, had a dream one night. In this dream, a white elephant with 6 tusks entered her right side, symbolizing the conception of a great being. 10 months later, while traveling to her parents' home, she stopped in a garden in Lumbini. Holding onto a branch of a sal tree, she gave birth to Siddhartha. Standing up, the child emerged from her side, took 7 steps forward, and declared that this would be his last birth. Flowers bloomed, and the earth trembled in joy. These miraculous elements are part of Buddhist lore, designed to highlight his extraordinary destiny. But historically, Siddhartha was the son of King Suddhodana, ruler of the Shakya clan, a warrior tribe in the foothills of the Himalayas. The Shakyas were part of a republican system, not a grand monarchy, as later stories might suggest. Archaeological sites in Lumbini today, including the Maya Devi Temple, confirm it as a place of pilgrimage, with inscriptions from Emperor Ashoka in the 3rd century BCE marking it as the Buddha's birthplace. Growing up in the capital city of Kapilavastu, Siddhartha lived a life of opulence. His father, fearing a prophecy that his son would either become a great king or a renowned spiritual leader, did everything to steer him toward kingship. The prophecy came from astrologers who examined the baby's 32 auspicious marks, signs of greatness, to prevent Siddhartha from seeing the world's sufferings, which might push him toward renunciation. Suddhodana built 3 palaces for him, one for each season, filled with pleasures, music, dance, and beautiful companions. Siddhartha excelled in education, mastering archery, horseback riding, and the arts of governance. At age 16, he married his cousin Yashodhara, and they had a son named Rahula, meaning fetter, symbolizing the ties that bound him to worldly life. For 29 years, Siddhartha remained isolated from reality, unaware of aging, illness, or death. This sheltered existence is a key theme in Buddhist narratives, illustrating how ignorance of suffering can create a false sense of security. Scholars note that this period reflects the social context of ancient India, where the caste system and Vedic rituals dominated, but new ideas about karma and rebirth were emerging, challenging old beliefs. Everything changed when Siddhartha ventured beyond the palace walls. Curious about the world outside, he convinced his charioteer, Jana, to take him on excursions. On the first trip, he saw an old man, bent and frail, leaning on a stick. Shocked, Siddhartha asked if this was the fate of all people. Chana confirmed that aging spares no one. On the second outing, he encountered a man racked with illness, groaning in pain. Again, Chana explained that sickness afflicts everyone. The third sight was a corpse being carried to the funeral pyre, revealing the inevitability of death. These encounters shattered Siddhartha's illusions. But the fourth sight offered hope, a wandering ascetic, serene and detached, seeking spiritual liberation. This holy man inspired Siddhartha to question the purpose of life amid such suffering. These four sights are central to the Buddha's story, symbolizing the universal truths of old age, sickness, death, and the path to transcendence. While legendary, they capture the existential crisis that propelled Siddhartha's transformation. In historical terms, this reflects the rise of Sramana movements in India, ascetic traditions like Jainism and early yoga that rejected material excess for inner search. Deeply troubled, Siddhartha realized that even his royal life could not protect him or his loved ones from these realities. One night, at age 29, he made the great renunciation. He gazed at his sleeping wife and son one last time, then rode out of the palace on his horse Kanthaka, with Channa by his side. Once far away, he cut off his long hair with his sword, exchanged his princely robes for a simple saffron cloth from a hunter, and sent Kanna back with his belongings. Now, a homeless wanderer, or Shramana, Siddhartha sought teachers to guide him. He first studied under Alara Kalama, mastering meditation techniques that led to the sphere of nothingness. But this did not end suffering. Next, he trained with Udaka Ramaputta, reaching the sphere of neither perception nor non-perception. Still unsatisfied, he left to pursue his own path, joining 5 ascetics in the forests near Uruvela, modern Bodh Gaya. He practiced extreme self-denial. For 6 years, he fasted rigorously, eating only a single grain of rice or a sesame seed per day, holding his breath until faint and exposing himself to the elements. His body wasted away, his skin clung to his bones, and his eyes sank deep into their sockets. Legends say he became so thin that touching his belly felt like touching his spine. Yet, this austerity brought no enlightenment, only weakness. One day, a village girl named Sujata offered him a bowl of rice pudding, mistaking him for a tree spirit due to his gaunt appearance. Accepting it, Siddhartha regained strength and realized that extremes, whether indulgence or deprivation, were not the way. He advocated the middle path, a balanced approach to spiritual practice. His 5 companions, seeing him eat, thought he had given up and abandoned him. Renewed, Siddhartha vowed to meditate until he found a truth. He sat under a peepal tree, later called the Bodhi tree, in Bodh Gaya. As night fell, he entered deep meditation. Mara, the demon of illusion and desire, tried to distract him. First, Mara sent his beautiful daughters to tempt Siddhartha with lust. When that failed, he unleashed armies of demons with storms, arrows, and darkness. Siddhartha remained unmoved, touching the earth to call it as witness to his resolve. The earth shook, and Mara's forces fled. Through the night, Siddhartha gained insights into his past lives, the nature of karma, and the cycle of birth and death. By dawn, at age 35, he attained full enlightenment, becoming the Buddha, the awakened one. He understood the 4 noble truths: that life is suffering, dukkha. Suffering arises from craving and attachment. Suffering can end by ceasing craving. And there is a path to that end, the noble eightfold path. This path includes right understanding, right intention, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration. Nirvana, the state of liberation from suffering and rebirth, was now his. The Bodhi tree site remains a sacred place, with a descendant of the original tree standing today. This enlightenment is celebrated in festivals like Vesak, combining his birth, awakening, and death. For 7 weeks, the Buddha contemplated his discovery under the tree, unsure if others could understand it. A deity urged him to teach, and he agreed. Driven by compassion, he walked to the deer park in Sarnath, near Varanasi, where his 5 former companions were staying. Initially skeptical, they were won over by his radiant presence. There, he delivered his first sermon, the Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, or setting in motion the wheel of Dharma. He explained the 4 noble truths and the middle way, avoiding sensual pleasures and self-mortification. The ascetics became his first disciples, forming the Sangha, the Buddhist monastic community. One by one, they attained enlightenment. This event marked the birth of Buddhism as a religion. The Buddha then traveled across northern India, teaching kings, merchants, farmers, and outcasts alike. He performed miracles, like multiplying himself at Suravasti to convince doubters, or taming a wild elephant sent by his jealous cousin Devadatta. In one story, a monkey offered him honey, dying happily after the Buddha accepted it. He returned to Kapilavastu, converting his family, including his son Rahula, who became a monk, and his foster mother Mahapajapati, who founded the order of nuns despite initial resistance. The Buddha emphasized equality, welcoming all castes into the Sangha, challenging the rigid Vedic system. Over 45 years, he established monasteries, like Jetavana, donated by the merchant Anathapindika, and taught during the rainy seasons while wandering otherwise. The Buddha's teachings, or Dharma, addressed the root of human suffering. Life, he said, is like a wheel, out of balance, full of dissatisfaction, because everything is impermanent. We cling to pleasures, relationships, and self, but they change, leading to pain. The cause is tanha, or thirst, craving for sensory delights, existence, or non-existence. To end it, follow the Eightfold Path, which cultivates wisdom, right view, and intention, ethical conduct, right speech, action, livelihood, and mental discipline, right effort, mindfulness, concentration. Practices like meditation help see reality as it is. No permanent self, anatta, everything changing, anicca, and conditioned by causes. Karma governs rebirth in 6 realms, from gods to hell beings, based on actions. But enlightenment breaks the cycle. The Buddha illustrated this with parables, like the arrow poisoned with suffering. Instead of questioning its origins, remove it through practice. His Jataka tales, stories of his past lives as animals or humans, taught morals like generosity and compassion. For example, as Prince Vesantara, he gave away everything, even his children, to perfect giving. These stories spread Buddhism's ethical core. In his later years, the Buddha faced challenges. His cousin Devadatta plotted against him, trying to split the Sangha, and even attempting murder by rolling a boulder or releasing a mad elephant. But the Buddha's calm prevailed. At age 80, in Kushinagar, he ate a meal offered by a blacksmith named Kunda, possibly pork or mushrooms, that made him ill. Knowing his end was near, he reassured Kunda it was not his fault, as the meal would bring merit. Lying on his right side between 2 sal trees, surrounded by disciples, he entered parinirvana, the final nirvana beyond rebirth.